this microphone. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Crafting and Crime Daily. I'm doing a pop-up live because we have breaking news this morning. Sorry about the little microphone issues. You know, me and my microphone, we don't get along. So it's got a personality of its own. Good morning, Jerry. Okay, good, Jerry. I have somebody to talk to during the pop-up live. So I'm going to wait till a few more people get in here. I'm not doing a regular show today because I'm having just a few health issues and yeah, I am working on a true crime. I've got it about halfway done. That'll go up tomorrow. There was a new trial that started today, but not one that I'm really interested in. I didn't think you guys would be interested in it either. It's sort of an open shut case. Lady Dragon Marie, good morning. Tammy, good morning. Shirley, good morning. All right, I'm going to go ahead and just jump right into the news. The FSU law professor murder case is not over yet. Hi, Kat. Anybody want to? Well, I did tell you in the thumbnail what it's about. Donna Adelson has been arrested for the conspiracy and solicitation to commit the murder of Dan Markell way back in 2014. This is 1 week after her son was convicted of conspiracy to commit. Yeah, he was convicted of conspiracy to commit the murder, first-degree murder, and solicitation for that murder. He hasn't even been sentenced yet. But here's the really interesting thing. Donna Adelson and her husband were at the airport with a one-way ticket to Vietnam. One-way ticket to Vietnam. Now, the state attorney's plan was to convene a grand jury this week and then get an indictment and arrest her for murder after that. But when they found out about this one-way ticket to Vietnam, they decided to go ahead and make the arrest because it is very, very difficult to extradite somebody from another country, especially Vietnam. 2014 just shouldn't sound way back. I'm getting so old. I know. It's awful. I watched this. This is totally off topic. I watched this other podcast the other day, and it's a young woman that does a podcast with her husband, and they're very young. And she's like, 2007. It was, that was old times. I'm thinking, no, it wasn't. That was like yesterday. 2000. Yeah. Anyway, that was way off topic. So how are you guys today? Anyway, I'm just blown away by this news. So Donna Adelson she's right now being held in a correctional or a jail in Miami. She will be going up to Tallahassee to the jail up there where they will do the whole bond thing. I don't know. Charlie Adelson never got a bond. He was being held with no bond. So I don't know if it'll be the same thing for her. I suspect since she was trying to flee, they're not going to give her bond. Also, when they do have her trial, of course, I will cover it, but when they do have her trial, they can use the fact that she was attempting to flee with a one-way ticket to Vietnam as evidence against her guilt. So, bye-bye, Donna Adelson. My goodness. So, what do y'all think? I know it's early. Well, I just woke up because I actually woke up at 7 o'clock this morning and was in a lot of pain. So I took some medicine, went back to sleep. And then when I woke up, I heard this breaking news. It happened late last night. So y'all are still sleeping. Shirley, you're in Florida. Okay. Where are you at in Florida? Just curious. We seem to be covering a lot of trials in Florida. I lived there for 40 years. My kids were raised there. Davenport. Okay. Kat says that that shows evidence of guilt for the husband also. I think he just wanted to go with his wife because he may or may not be guilty, but I don't see the evidence against him unless they've got stuff that we just haven't seen so far. I mean, we've sat through 3 murder trials for the murder of Dan Markel back in 2014, and I haven't seen. Well, there is that restaurant footage with him and Charles, but you couldn't tell what they were talking about, and I don't know that it can be enhanced any more than it already has been enhanced. I think if they could have enhanced it more, they would have done it by now. Tammy said, "Just think they closed down the dentist's office. Poor patients were left." I think they've already closed that practice because daddy dentist, he has retired. He's in his 70s. I think he's retired. And of course, Charles is in jail. So I don't know that that practice even exists, unless they may have sold it or, I don't know. Kat says he would have had to be living under a rock not to know what his wife was up to. I think Charles runs his mouth, genetically, as, he gets that from his mom. So did she tell her husband? Did he know about it? Probably. I just don't, I'd like to see Wendy go down, but because I think Wendy knew about it too, but I don't know what part she played in it. I think that whole, get your television fix alibi is just ridiculous. Yeah, Tammy, I think Wendy should be sweating it right now. In fact, clearly they are monitoring what is going on at the airport, about who's leaving and who's going where. I'd just love to know how they figured that out, that she was getting ready to get on a plane to Vietnam. Who wants to live in Vietnam? I don't know that would have been my choice of places to flee, but I'm sure there was. I don't know. Maybe because it is difficult to get extradited from Vietnam, so who knows? I mean, where would you guys go? Let me think. Where would I go? Oh my goodness. Yeah, Tammy, I think she knew. I do think she knew. Cheaper cost of living. And I watch what is that show? Amazing Race. And they've been through Vietnam a few times, and it is a lovely country now. Shirley says, I have pictures in my mind of Vietnam that make it unattractive. Well, we all do, but it doesn't look like that now. Jerry would go to a tropical island. Yeah, no, not me. I'm not a survivor. No. But I don't know, maybe Costa Rica or, geez, Costa Rica's lovely. I might go to Costa Rica. Isn't that South America? I'm terrible at geography. Terrible. I went to the Philippines once and was mortified. Just my father was living there, and he was dying, and I went out to see him before he died. And it was like a 23-hour plane flight, and the airport was just swarmed with people. I was scared to death. Central America. Okay. And I did not find the Philippines to be that attractive. No. I got to see a volcano while I was there. Got to go to a lovely restaurant. I stayed with my dad's family that was there, and not a place I would want to go. But like I said, I do know people there, so if I had to flee, I could probably stay with the people that I know there. Shirley says, me either. Florida is already too much. I have lived here my whole life, and subtropical is enough suffering. I had to get out of Florida. It was, first of all, it was way too conservative. It was way too expensive. I've lived there since I was a young child when we moved to Florida. And I lived there until I was in my 50s, 50 some years. And like I said, I raised my kids in Hollywood. And my ex-husband was a Hollywood police officer. it just became I didn't like where the politics was going, I didn't like the crime, I didn't like the, and my son had already left the state, my daughter was leaving the state, I just said, "Yeah, okay, I'm outta here." So, yeah, I was down in Hollywood, Florida, Shirley. Tammy said, "I heard they researched what country would be hard to be returned to the US. I'm sure they will prove they paid for housing in advance." Yes, I didn't think of that, Tammy. You're probably right. Well, that plan got foiled, probably because Donna ran her mouth to somebody, don't you think? Or they were still wiretapping the phones, maybe. I don't know. I don't know. I'm sure we'll find out when that trial comes around. Shirley says, "Yeah, the Everglades is a good place to hide a body." Yes. Oh my god. I remember when that, plane crashed in the Everglades. I was in law school, I think, and, um, one of the things that we did in law school was we did, like, a field trip to the coroner's office, and you don't wanna I won't tell you the rest of that story, but it was, yeah, you don't wanna be out in the Everglades. Oh, no, there's lots of crocodiles and alligators and stuff out there. No, you'll never find a body. It won't last long in the Everglades. I'm this is how late I'm up. I'm just now having my coffee. Yesterday, I decided that I would clean house. I don't do that very often. Um, Usually my sister and I keep it up, but we don't like I went through the kitchen and did like a really thorough cleaning, moving things around, scrubbing the floor, and when I woke up this morning, I couldn't even move. It Yeah, my body is just not what it was, when I was younger. It really isn't, man. So, yeah, breaking news, Donna Adelson has been arrested. This case, somebody needs to write ab it I don't know why Netflix hasn't picked up this story because it's really interesting. Maybe they're waiting for it to finish playing out, before they do it. Speaking of Netflix, I think they're what was I thinking about? Netflix. Did they do a story and I just don't remember it? Oh, the Maya thing, the Kowalski thing. I think Netflix is planning a season 2 for the Maya, Take Care of Maya, because where they ended, season 1 of their documentary, they had gone to court and the case got continued, and then, we know a year later the case goes and they get $260 million, but, I'm fairly certain that Netflix will pick up the rest of that story. Lori, hi, Lori. Ultimate mother meddling. I've watched several cases where the mother was involved in the death of their children's spouse. Joanna Hayes is one. Yup. Uh, Kat says there is at least one book written. I have to pick that up, Kat. Didn't know that. Although I could write the book. I feel like I know way too much about this family. Um, wow. You know, the saddest part of this whole thing is those 2 young boys. They're now, I think she said 13 and 14, Wendy did when she was on the stand. Now Wendy is in South Florida, and she's got just dad. That's it. That's all that's left now is her dad. Now, there is another brother that's part of the family, but he has estranged himself from them. He's like, "Oh, I'm out." He lives in another state. He's a doctor, and he's not a dentist. He's a doctor, and he doesn't have anything to do with them. So she really doesn't have another brother to lean on. Shirley says, "I haven't heard about that case. The one thing that bothered me was that Gabby Petito case. It was very troubling for me." That was a sad case as well. Very sad. I mean, domestic violence is never good. Tammy says, "Maya went to the police station and filed criminal charges against the hospital over some mystery guy." What? There was sometime during the trial, there was a rumor that she had been sexually assaulted. It wasn't allowed in the trial. So maybe it has something to do with that, but I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna have to dig into that one, Tammy. Where is my bestie? She probably doesn't know I'm live. I'm talking about, Mickey. Oh my goodness. So, I don't wanna keep you guys all day, but, I just needed to tell you guys that I'm planning on, walking up to the grocery store. I gotta pick up a couple of things. There's a video on it. Yes, over what you said. Okay. Um, Tammy, if you can go back in your history and find the video and send it to me, I'd love to watch that. Oh, so it is, the alleged sexual assault then. Okay, I get you. Interesting. Interesting. Shirley says, "I love true crime, so I'm going to have to look." I watch the behavior panel all the time and haven't heard them talk about it. Lady Dragon says, "We appreciate the crazy update." Thank you, guys. Yes. Go on with the rest of your day. I apologize that we're no show yesterday and today. And there's just not a trial that's interesting enough for me to cover right now. There was a brand new documentary on Netflix yesterday, and I started watching that, and that's gonna be the next true crime story. I'm gonna bring that story to you because it's so interesting. It's out of Sydney, Australia, and it's a fascinating crime. So, I will, talk to you guys. I'll be live tomorrow night, and, I'll show you what I'm working on. I can actually show you what I'm working on. Any guesses? Yep. The Thursday the Thanksgiving gnome has begun. Yes. All right. Thanks for coming in, guys. I will see you, tomorrow in Crafting and Crime Daily for the true crime story. Bye, everybody. Take care.